to Recovery ASMR. Today we're going to talk about relapse prevention and what to do if you've slipped. What to do if you've slipped. Which does happen. First and foremost, don't give up. Never give up. Keep coming back. I promise that it works. I promise that it works one day at a time, sometimes quickly, sometimes slowly, sometimes quickly, sometimes slowly. Just never give up. Never give up. One of the first things to do is to go to a meeting and tell someone. If it's happened, it's probably because of a series of things, some of which are preventative and some of which are not. And so it's really important that you remember, if you struggle with drugs and alcohol the way I do, it's important for me to remember that, number one, I'm not alone. It happens. It happens. What's important is I go to a meeting and I tell someone, I had a home group. They tell you about home groups is a place where you go every week. And you should vibe. You should vibe with your home group. It should be a place where you like the people. You have friends that you're developing there. Maybe you didn't vibe right away, but you kept going back and now you have relationships. Maybe it's just that it's close to your house. You know, it's a convenient time, whatever it is. It's important to have that relationship with one group. So that if you do slip, you have a place to go, and you need to be honest. You need to be honest with your group. That's what I did. I was honest. I had so much support pour out after it happened. It still sucked, but what's important is I didn't give up and I kept going and I was honest. I also have a sponsor. I recommend a sponsor. You don't need to keep the sponsor if it's not working. Find a sponsor that works for you. For me personally, I throw any convention about who you can and can't have sponsor you out of the window, because that's what I need. There really isn't specific mention of sponsorship in the big book, in this blue book here. There's very little mention, but in the 12 and 12, the 12 steps and 12 traditions, this will bring you through each step a lot more thoroughly. You should not do the steps alone, but more importantly, especially at first, especially if and when you are struggling, you need a sponsor so you have someone to help hold you accountable, and that you can call in a pinch. Can you call them in a pinch? Do you feel like you can trust them, that they're not gonna throw you to the wolves, basically, unless you're ready? But, sometimes people have sponsors that make them do things they really, really don't want to do, and it keeps them sober. And sometimes people have sponsors that are super hands-off and let them live their lives and make their mistakes, and it keeps them sober. And so you have to find what's going to work for you. My sponsor is like a combination. My sponsor gives me suggestions, but it's up to me to actually do the stuff. And I know that when I slipped, I should have called my sponsor before it happened, and then it probably wouldn't have happened. That's the whole thing, but I didn't. I have a million people, a million numbers in my phone, and I didn't call any of them. And so I had a horrible, awful night, and I embarrassed myself on a lot of levels, and I have so many amends to make. so I was like throwing up for like 14 hours straight. I couldn't even hold down water. I couldn't hold down Dramamine, which is horrible. And, I'm laughing now because of what I did next, which is the most important part. I went and I was honest. I talked with all of my family members who are not in recovery. They don't go to meetings, they don't do anything like that. But they care about me and want me to stay sober. And so, as mad at me as some of them were, they also were like, what's your plan? And one of the requests that they made, one of the requests was that I go back to doing 30 and 30, which is a meeting every day for 30 days. 30 and 30. And at first I was like, I really do not want to do this. I think the first 4 days of meetings, I was so angry and so salty about it. And I overkilled. I was like, I can't fit this in. I'm not gonna do it. But I also was like, I don't want to feel how I felt. I don't want to slip again. I want to be on a spiritual path. I want to be making better choices. At the end of the day, that is true. I still pray every morning to my higher power of my understanding and say, like, help me be useful to humans today, because I don't know. I don't know what to do. I don't know how to live a good life. I need guidance. And whether it's from friends, family, higher power, wherever, I just know that I don't know what to do a lot of times. I feel stuck. I feel scared. I feel anxious. And when enough days like that happen in a row, where I'm like stuck up here, when I'm stuck up in this little noggin, that's when I start to think, this would be a lot better if I just insert drug or alcohol here. If I just did this thing, I would feel better. I never do. But one of the things I got really lucky about this time was I had a horrible night. And that might sound crazy, but if I had had a really good night and nothing went wrong and I didn't throw up and I didn't embarrass myself, if it had gone well, I would have been back in the freaking, what is the word? I'm doing this. What's the hamster wheel, I guess. Back in the saddle. Back off the wagon. I mean, I feel like you're like just back in the day-to-day obsession of trying to drink and control it and hide it, and it won't be as bad this time, and then within like the week it's horrible again. And like, so if it had gone well, I had like a family party the following Friday, and I know that I would have been there, surrounded by my nieces and nephews who know me as sober, who have never seen me drink, who like really look up to me, and other adults who know that I'm the one in recovery. I'm the one they send there, people who are struggling. Like, I would have been at that family party fighting for my life to not drink, or secretly drinking. And there's always someone who knows. You think you're hiding it, you're not. I promise. You're not. People know. If you drink the way I drink, I don't know. Maybe you don't, but the way I drink, people know. And so because it was so bad, and because the next day I went and I was honest with my home group, and I talked to my sponsor, and I made this 30 and 30 plan, I was sober at the family party with no problems. Like, all the adults were out over by the bar drinking. I mean, I could have drank for free. I did a show last night. I got offered drinks like, I think I got up to 9 times, like, because I counted. I was like, there's 9 different people offered to buy me drinks for free. And I said no with no problems. The hardest thing for me right now is emotional sobriety, is not getting caught up in the madness that is my brain. I have to keep going to meetings. I have to keep talking to other alcoholics, doing my readings every day, writing every morning, and so I journal, I exercise, and I go to meetings. I also work full time, so I had to get myself organized. Really get myself organized. How am I going to prioritize meetings, right? How am I going to fit it all in? this is what's been working for me, so I'm sharing it because it's been working for me. This is not, you do not have to do this to do 30 and 30. I've done a million 30 and 30s with no schedule, but where I'm at right now, I needed this, and it helped. So, I have the rest grayed out, but it goes all the way for 30 days, and I shared it with my loved ones who are the most worried about me, so that they can actually track my progress. And because I'm really committed to recovering, it's like I'm being super honest. So you'll see the first column date, what day it is, and then I'm putting where the meeting is and the name. I live in a relatively rural region. There's definitely metropolitan areas in my region, but for the most part things are like spread out. Like basically it's 15 minutes to get anywhere. There are some meetings close to my house, but even those, it's like I couldn't walk, I'd have to drive. And so I have to like map it. And then my CrossFit gym, which is a part of my recovery right now, is exercise. And it just happens, the structure that CrossFit gives, that 1 hour time box similar to the meeting, where I don't have to worry. I just show up, someone tells me what to do, I work out as hard as I can, and then I leave. Like, that's working for me right now. I don't know if it will forever. I'm also like, I'm mindful of like the cultiness of these two things, but when you're fighting the demons in your brain like I am every day, it's like I do just need structure. I just need a place I can show up and someone tells me what to do for how to better myself. I mapped it out. You can see here what time, and then after I go, I check off the box, which is super satisfying. So even if I don't want to go, I at least get the satisfaction of saying, yes, I attended. And then trying to figure out which days for CrossFit, because they have to, like, where they are in the world, literally, like, driving-wise, I have to, like, make it work. And then the journaling is in the morning, so it's like the first thing I do when I wake up is I do my morning pages, and that is based on Cameron's Artist Way, which is a lightly 12-step based program for getting yourself to be more creative, but it's about like getting the gunk out. So I do that every morning. All that's to say, the schedule and having this kind of structure for myself has been very helpful. As the week went by, I started to add things like other notes, and then another column appeared of like stressful things that I had to do that were like clogging up my brain. I had to get my car looked at, which was super annoying, and not having a functional vehicle on top of everything. Like, it is like a real let go and let God situation for me right now. But since I'm letting go and letting God, and know that God is doing for me what I cannot do for myself, which is one of the promises, which I have to remember all the time. I know that if my car isn't working, it means to get to meetings I have to reach out to people, and I can not stress enough how important other people are. If you're trying to recover from drug and alcohol addiction like I am, like, community and talking to people and being open and honest with the people around you, and honestly the internet works too. It's just hard because I think like Zoom meetings are totally fine. The 7 a.m. I have to go to sometimes is on Zoom, thank God, because I'm not an early bird at all. But like, it's a lot of the same people there every day, and I went 3 days in a row this month, like, to the 7 a.m. and I was like blown away by like my audacity for waking up so early. That's nuts. And really, this morning I slept in until like 7:30, and I was like, damn. Just the sentence, I slept in until 7:30 is bonkers. Like, I fully used to be in nightlife. Like, to say I slept in until 7:30 is crazy. But I was sad. The thing was, I was like super sad that I missed the meeting. I'm gonna go to one tonight at my actual actual scheduled meeting, according to my 30 and 30 spreadsheet, is tonight at 7. But I had planned in my head when I went to bed, like, I'm gonna hit the 7 a.m. I've been really loving it. And those kind of like psychic changes that I hear people talk about, I'm like, whatever. But then I'm like, I was genuinely sad that I missed the 7 a.m. So, and that is on, like I said, it's on Zoom. I think that if you're in a situation like I'm in with my car, and, you know, there's so many unknowns, and you obviously have the internet if you're watching on YouTube, like, there are meetings all the time on Zoom. It can still be isolating though, like, you need to try to, like, get numbers and reach out to people and make, like, friendships and stuff. So one thing that I'm thinking about adding to this, since I have this stressful column, is, like, I should also add a reach out column, like a call someone column. I think if I were to do one thing differently for the next 14 days, and I just called one person from recovery every day, like outside of going to a meeting, like on top of it. So like I go to a meeting, I journal, I exercise, and I call someone, bro, I feel like I'm gonna blow the game wide open. Like, anyway, this is my 30 and 30 plan. This is how it's structured. It's pretty easy to make. All you need is a Gmail account to make a Google Sheet. You can copy exactly what I have going on here. I added some formatting and styling and stuff for my eyeballs. I shared it with my family for accountability, and I will say it's helping with the living amends piece. You know, I broke some hearts, and I really damaged some trust when I slipped. And in the past, I would have let that like eat me up big time, and be like, well, I'm a lost cause. Not gonna amount to anything. And this time I was like, no, I know what to do. I've been in these rooms long enough. I've been on a path, on a journey of recovery for long enough to know what to do. Get honest. Go to a meeting. Talk to as many people as I can about what happened. And then just keep going. Don't give up. And it's working so far. But, it is truly one day at a time. It is truly one day at a time. I cannot do this alone. And if you're out there and you're struggling, you are not alone. You are not alone. You are not alone. There's so many things, so many people out there that can and will and want to help you. I promise you're not alone. I promise. Even if you really feel like you are, I promise you're not. You're not. Okay, I hope you're having a lovely day.